Like people act like did it.
You're getting a lot of heat.
I'm getting a lot of heat. Like I beat somebody.
The arena smelled like sweat and cheap beer when chaos ripped through the crowd. Boksijackson's fist turned a pro wrestling match into a crime scene. Cameras caught every brutal second, and the internet lit up with disbelief. Now, Rampage Jackson has finally spoken, and his words are a thunderclap.
The pro wrestling guy don't know my son, and he hit him over the head with like a can or a beer can or a bottle or something. And my son didn't know it didn't know it was coming. They didn't tell my son.
The night was meant to be entertainment. Body slams, stage drama, a crowd screaming for blood that wasn't supposed to spill. But when Boksijackson entered the scene, the script disintegrated. The wrestler in the ring didn't know him. A careless hit to Raja's head with a can lit a fuse nobody could extinguish. Raja waited. Hours later, he unleashed violence so real that the fans stopped cheering. The pro wrestler never stood a chance. Slammed to the ground, pummeled with dozens of punches even after he was unconscious. His body became a prop for Raja's rage. Rumors spread fast that his heart had stopped, that he was out cold for minutes. No one could tell if they were watching a fight or witnessing a disaster spiraling out of control. By the time the clip made its way to social media, Boksijackson was a headline. A savage street fight disguised as wrestling theater had turned into a legal nightmare, and every replay painted the same picture. This wasn't a brawl, it was a brutal assault.
I hope it was safe. I hope it stays, because sometimes
Rampage Jackson is a legend, a man known for his own chaos in the cage, but even he was stunned. Behind the bravado, behind the fatherly instinct to defend his son, he was furious. He saw the footage. He saw Raja, his own blood, cross a line that fighters know you never cross, beating a man who's already out cold.
But still, nigga hit my son over the head, and then he asked my son, "You ain't gonna sell it when you in pro wrestling?" So this mother that hit my son is stupid. So in order for me not to go to jail.
Rampage's reaction wasn't polished PR. He didn't defend Raja. He called him reckless, an animal that belonged in a cage. He cursed the stupidity of the wrestler who provoked him, but made it clear that none of this justified what followed. The MMA veteran said the whole thing made him sick to his stomach, and he wanted to storm in and handle it himself, but had to hold back to avoid prison. This wasn't a father blindly shielding his son. This was Rampage, the fighter, disgusted at what he saw. He knew the sport's code. You stop when the fight is over. And Raja didn't. Now his father is left cleaning up a mess so big that even his fame and money might not save his own son from charges that scream attempted murder. The fighting world erupted like a hornet's nest. Analysts, fighters, and commentators tore Raja apart. Some couldn't even watch the footage. They said it looked like he was trying to kill. Others, who initially thought it was a wrestling stunt, admitted their shock when they learned it was real. The replay left no room for interpretation. Raja beat a defenseless man down until intervention was the only thing preventing a fatality. Veterans of the sport weren't gentle. They warned Raja's life was about to change forever. They spoke about felony charges, about attempted murder, about the unforgiving nature of their justice system. They mocked the live streaming culture that egged him on, with rumors of a promised reward for a knockout fueling the circus. One fighter said the streaming world had gone too far, breeding people willing to risk prison for a few clicks and subs. Others were brutally blunt. Raja wasn't a fighter. They said he was a criminal in training. Some pointed out that the only reason he hadn't already been crucified in court was because of his father's name. If anybody else had been caught on tape doing this, they said, they'd already be in handcuffs.
Told me I can get my get back in the ring, and I think the world got mad. People got mad because they don't understand pro wrestling. You know, they didn't know that they wrote Raja into the show. They thought that he was a coward and he snuck in the ring and beat the guy up while he was working.
Rampage Jackson wasn't just angry. He was broken. Friends close to him described him as a man torn apart, trying to protect his son while knowing deep down he deserved consequences. In one moment, Rampage was the warrior we've always seen, spitting venom at the stupidity of the night. In another, he was a father pleading for some kind of mercy. He spoke openly about how hard it was to watch Raja spiral. He admitted he told his son not to react that night, to stay calm, even after being blindsided by the wrestler's cheap shot. Raja ignored him. Now, the clip of his violence is everywhere, and Rampage's legendary name is being dragged alongside his son's meltdown. Behind the scenes, Raja has been scrambling, talking to coaches, friends, and lawyers, trying to navigate a storm that threatens everything he's built. His public image is now tied to an act he openly condemns. It's a nightmare for a man who fought his way out of the streets only to watch his son dive headfirst into a future he may never escape. The victim of Raja's outburst isn't just another wrestler. He's a veteran, a man already carrying scars from a brutal life, and the attack put him in the hospital. Some reports claimed his heart stopped, others said he was unconscious for 6 minutes, and even the most skeptical voices admitted he was lucky to survive. Wrestlers and MMA fighters united in outrage. They called for justice, for Raja to face the consequences of his actions. Many of them scoffed at the idea of sympathy. If the attacker wasn't Rampage's son, they said, no one would even debate what should happen. They'd throw him in a cell and toss the key. And yet, even in the outrage, there's a dark fascination. The footage has gone viral. People can't stop watching it. It's the ugly truth of combat sports culture. Brutality draws eyes. Raja's outburst is a cautionary tale, but it's also a spectacle. And that's what makes this all the more dangerous.
He's got to get some punishment for this. There's just going to be no excuse. He's going to probably go away for a long while, especially on stream. He's on stream and he said 50 subs for a KO.
50 subs, knock him out.
One of the ugliest parts of the scandal is how it unfolded live. Raja's assault was streamed in real time, with people egging him on, dangling promises of rewards. What should have been a night of entertainment turned into a disturbing spectacle, with Raja playing the villain in front of a cheering digital crowd. Fighters and coaches have since condemned the culture that breeds this chaos. They say streaming has turned violence into a game, with young fighters chasing views instead of respect. Raja's meltdown is the inevitable outcome of an online world where clout is king and morality is dead. The fact that someone nearly lost their life didn't even stop the jokes and memes that flooded social media afterward. Rampage himself has voiced his disgust with this culture. He knows better than anyone how dangerous fighting can be. He built a career on violence, but it was violence within a code. What Raja did crossed that line, and the internet rewarded it with clicks. Rampage Jackson is no stranger to controversy, but this is different. This isn't a fight he can win with punches or charisma. This is a fight against the system, against a media frenzy, against a world that wants his son's head on a silver platter. Behind his tough talk, Rampage is a man cornered. Friends have described him pacing, swearing, and venting about his son's recklessness. He's furious about Raja for throwing away his future, for putting him in this position, for tarnishing their family name. And yet, he's still his father. The loyalty runs deep, even when the disappointment cuts deeper. He's now balancing two impossible roles, the legend who has to stand by his code and condemned what happened, and the father who wants to save his son from prison time. It's a balancing act that may destroy him, no matter which side he leans toward. The police already have the video. The evidence is irrefutable. For now, they're waiting on the victim's statement. But everyone knows that once he speaks, this could escalate into a case of attempted murder. Lawyers are circling, prosecutors are watching. The fight isn't in the ring anymore, it's in the court. Some insiders believe Raja's only hope is if the wrestler decides not to press charges. But even then, the stain of this attack won't fade. His name is toxic. His career is tainted before it even began. He isn't a rising fighter anymore. He's a cautionary tale. The footage won't disappear. The outrage won't fade. Subscribe and hit the like button to stay updated.